sell lots of, pet-related items. But it was an adoption event. They only have adoption and rescues. So we did that. Duchess allegedly came from down south. I don't know what state. I don't really think they know what state. I have a feeling that she was sort of, carted here to Pennsylvania in a truck with a million other dogs. So I'm not sure that anyone really knows. I did some research after getting her into why so many dogs come from down south, because she's certainly not the first rescue that I've heard that about. And it seems like if anyone watching lives down south, please comment and enlighten me. I'm so curious. But it sounds to me like there's just a large stray dog population and, unneutered, unspayed. And so I guess these dogs are creating puppies. And I guess these litters are discovered and they need homes. And so they're, I guess, put into trucks and carted all over the country for people to adopt. So, and that's great. Adoption is wonderful. So, although I'm sorry to hear that that seems to be kind of an issue in the South, I'm sorry for the dogs and cats too, of course. I am not a cat owner. I never have been, but I like cats. My husband's family had cats, so he is more well versed in cats and the care of cats than I would be. But I also, my mom worked in an animal hospital for 30 years, and I used to work there in the summer in the kennel, and so I've definitely had some experience with cats, not just I should say just not in my everyday life and house. So anyway, dogs are very different. I was gonna say they're a very different animal, pun intended. Dogs are a very different animal, and if I'm honest, can you hear her groaning? If I'm honest, I think I prefer the idea of owning a dog. I like the attitude that most dogs have compared to the attitude that most cats have. Although it is nice, I think in theory these black and white dogs, and almost all of them were big. You could tell they were young, but just big. And I had my eye on this big one that he was very cute. I don't know his name, but he was very cute, and he kind of jumped. He was very interested in us at first. Like he kind of jumped up and looked at us through the window, and I was like, oh, he looks so sweet. He looks so cute. And, then a few minutes later, he kind of got like barky, and I was like, okay, maybe not. And he was really roughhousing with, the other puppies, and that's normal. That's fine. I was about to walk away. I was about to move on to the next window, and I realized that this whole time in the back of that room, there had been a black and white small puppy, smaller than the rest, sitting in the corner and looking at my mom and I. I think my husband had already moved to the next window, and I realized that there was this little puppy in the corner just making like full eye contact, and when the other dogs would come near her, she wasn't afraid, but she also wasn't like as intent on like jumping and roughhousing, and there was no barking. She was not barking at all. And I immediately smiled and laughed, and I said to my mom, look at that little puppy in the back. And my mom kind of said the same thing. She laughed, and she was like, oh my goodness, it reminds me of Sam. And Sam was my parents' like golden dog that passed away when I was a really little girl. I did meet her. I did know her. She was wonderful. They had other dogs since Sam, but Sam was like the dog, a big Shepherdie mix. And she said it reminds me of Sam. Sam was just sitting there quietly in the back, and I was like, okay, well, obviously we have to see her then. So that was the first dog that we saw. She was the first dog. She was that little puppy. And we went and we found an employee, and we said, can we see that little black and white puppy in the back? And she said, sure. So she went back around. I'm switching a little bit between whisper and soft spoken. I hope that's okay. She walked around and she opened the door, and it was the door to the back area. So it wasn't like the door where we were. And all of the dogs, Duchess included, just ran out. And we could see them all running in the hallway, like behind the room. It was very funny. So the girl had to like wrangle all the dogs. It was kind of funny to watch. And she came out with Duchess under her arm, with Duchess's feet like hanging down. And she said, this is Sissy. This is Sissy. She's 4 months old, and we just got her in from the south. Do you want to just go spend some time with her and meet her? And we were like, okay. I was like, well, of course I do, but we're not going to get the first dog that we meet. I mean, what I was going to say a few minutes ago is we met a few other dogs at other rescues, more adult dogs that were with like foster families, and that's fine. But no one that really clicked with us, and I don't know, we wanted an older dog. We really didn't want a puppy. So that was part of the reason that we had been to rescues more like that, and I just said to myself, like, this is a puppy. B, she's the first dog that we're seeing in this place. Like, we had another rescue we were planning to go to, like, in the next half hour. Yeah, we didn't. Spoiler alert, we didn't. So we went into the little pen where they put you, and you get to like meet the dog and hold the dog, and I guess it goes without saying that we fell absolutely in love. She was so calm, and she was so happy to be there and wagging. There was a cat that got loose, and the cat was hopping over like the half walls that were enclosing the pens, if that makes sense. And this cat, like screeching, jumped into our kind of enclosure, and Duchess was fine, didn't flinch. There were other dogs around. She wanted to see them and say hi and wag. Not a single bark, not a single noise. All the other dogs were yapping and jumping and scratching, and she was just sitting there making eye contact, wagging, licking. It was the cutest. She was the cutest one. She really was. So we took her home. So we adopted her. You know, I remember sitting there and my husband's like, I think this is our dog. You know, he knew that he wanted to name our dog Duchess. He already had a name picked out, and he was like, I think this is the real Duchess. And I was like, absolutely not. Of course, as I'm like totally falling in love with her. I was like, absolutely not. We said no puppies. And he's like, yeah, but right now we're both working from home. We don't have any children. You know, we have hardwood floors. We hadn't even had our area rugs delivered yet because we had just bought the house in 2021. And, you know, I said, like, I don't think so, honey. I don't, as I'm like, you know, I'm saying this, the other hand is like signing the papers, right? So the other, and Duchess is just like sitting there with her like slightly cockeyed eyes, like wagging her tail. And we're falling in love, and she's adorable. And my mom was like, I would be honest with you if I didn't think this was a good idea, but this is a really sweet puppy. So here we are. So she had at the time a clean bill of health. Spoiler alert, not so much, but she had a clean bill of health and she was the best. And so we bought all of the supplies and we applied for her, and somebody in the back office reviewed our application as we stood there and held her, you know. And we filled out all kinds of stuff about our house and our lifestyle and blah, blah, blah. And they read it, and I'll admit it was fairly brief, but they were like, you're approved. Congratulations. So she came vaccinated. They microchipped her for us. And she, again, clean bill of health, and her name was Sissy. She didn't know her name, so we changed it to Duchess immediately. And, you know, we were calling her Duchess before we even left the building. And it was just one of those, and I was so stressed out. Oh, I loved her so much already, but I was so stressed out. And even like I grew up with dogs. I grew up with puppies, but I had never taken care of one on my own. I mean, of course, my husband takes equal care of her, but I had never taken care of a puppy in my adult life, you know. And I was in my late 20s at the time, and I knew that it was right. I knew that I loved her, you know, but I was stressed out, and I felt like I wasn't sure I could handle it. I wasn't sure I was going to be a good dog owner. I was, you know, alone on my own. I was sweating the small stuff. I was, kind of gives you a glimpse into parenthood, doesn't it? Like human parenthood. I was sweating all the small stuff. I was losing sleep. I was so nervous. And she still makes me nervous sometimes, but it's rare. But it was great. Overall, it was great. I mean, we had our ups and downs for sure. House training felt hard. You know, I tried to do all the right things, the things that I learned at the vet when I was young, and the things I had watched my mom do and that I helped with when I was a kid. And it felt hard, but she learned really quick. She's smart. She's really smart. She's asleep. She's really smart. Maybe I should go back to whispering. She is really smart, and she picked it up right away. I taught her how to sit the second day that we had her. I was so proud. I have a video of it. She was so good. She was so good. I called her mommy's little best friend. I would carry her around and sing to her and show her herself in the mirror, and we played and we ran and we did all kinds of stuff. has had this problem since she was born, and it's just like coming to a head now, we think. So we switched her to the long story short, like some trial and error I'm omitting because we have an amazing vet. Amazing. We took her to a specialist. There were a couple of attacks. It was a whole thing. I'm skipping all that because it's exhausting. And it doesn't matter now because we have it under control the best we can. We've worked with a specialist. We've worked with our amazing vet. She is on a very, very, very specific hydrolyzed diet. It's like styrofoam looking kibble infused with all of the vitamins and all of the minerals and all of the nutrients that she needs. And you can see she's a shiny, healthy girl. She's at a good weight, and she hasn't had an attack in a while. She had like a minor one over the summer, which I think I mentioned in a previous video. But a minor attack is, I'll take it. I've seen the major ones; they are not good. So you know, I will take the minor one. And we also know the signs. So as soon as she starts acting funny, we go to the vet. We call the vet. We go to the vet. If it was a weekend, we would go to the emergency vet where her specialist is. We've got it down to a science. But yeah, other than those, and we have pet insurance. Thank you, Lemonade. Not sponsored. I wish. Oh my God, Lemonade, sponsor me. I am your spokesgirl. Please. This is your spokesgirl. Shout out to Lemonade, seriously. But they're great. Highly recommend if you're thinking about getting a dog, a cat, whatever. Insure your pet. Insure your pet ASAP. Like we insured her day 2, and thank God we did. Lemonade is the best. 2 thumbs way up. So we have that. We have the amazing vet. We have the special hydrolyzed food. It's not cheap, but it's worth it. She is to the point where, per our vet and the specialist, she can't have any treats. She can have ice and water and her hydrolyzed food. I should say she can have one treat, plain 100% pumpkin puree. She can have that, and thank goodness she can, because it's nice to be able to give her some kind of a treat. I grew up giving my dogs all kinds of treats and table food, you know, like not the things that you're not supposed to give them, but you know, I grew up giving them treats and, you know, cheese and peanut butter and vegetables and fruit, you know, all the things they could have. Not Duchess. Not Duchess. So it's nice to be able to have some kind of a special thing for her. And every month we have to deworm her because she can't even have like the typical oral, like NexGard or HeartGard. She can't have those because they're flavored with meat. All of them. There's no unflavored options except for the powder called Panicure that is actual like deworming powder. So we just deworm her per the vet and the specialist. We just deworm her once a month. She gets a Pro Heart injection for heartworm. She gets a topical flea and tick once every 3 months. Shout out to Perfecto. Actually, also not sponsored, but also please sponsor me. Perfecto works like a charm, and you can do it once every 3 months. So you only have to have the sticky on their back for a couple of days once every 3 months. It's not too bad. We really have it all dialed in. We can't even brush her teeth because the toothpaste is all flavored. So stupid. So we have to brush her teeth with water and let her chew on like rubber rings to make her breath better and to work on tartar. But we have to like hold the ring, because if we just give her the ring and she runs away, she'll chew pieces off and eat them. Flashback to like one of the attacks. We are doing our best. But the bottom line is she's the best, so she deserves our best, and we love her so much. We still try really hard. No, she better not bark. Stop. Duchess, down. Come here. Down. She hears a car outside. girl. Who's my baby? Is it you? Yeah. Who's my best girl? We're gonna get some under the armpit scritch ASMR. Who's a good Duchess? Yeah. Are you mommy's favorite? With your pumpkin blanket. She wagged her tail when I got the pumpkin blanket out for this video. I had to get it because we washed it. We wash a lot. We wash a lot of blankets in this house. Good girl. So, one thing that I did not mention, I got interrupted. I'm sorry. I don't know where I was. One thing that I did not mention is that the rescue told us she was a hound mix. Hound, like hound dog, like hunting dog, you know. And she looked like it. When she was a puppy, she had kind of a long face and her ears were a little droopier and she looked like a hound dog, like a hunting dog mix. And she still kind of does. You can kind of see, like, she's got like a little bit of a longer face. But we decided to do the genetics on her. And I was like, who would ever do that? That's so stupid. That's such a waste of money. And then, like, fast forward to us getting a dog, and I'm like, I have to know. We're making the mlum noises. Doggy ASMR back there for you. So, anyway, where was I? I'm getting distracted. She's she's cracking me up. So anyway, okay, we did the DNA test, and it turns out she is 93% pit bull and 7% unknown. Okay. I think there could be border collie in there somewhere. She's really good with borders. Okay, I didn't mean that to sound stupid, but border collie, borders. She's good with like learning boundaries. I'll say boundaries. She's good with learning boundaries and then staying there. Sometimes she'll try to herd my husband and I. Like if she wants us to go to bed, she'll like kind of do the herding thing, which I don't think is a pit bull behavior. So I feel like it might be a little bit of a border collie thing. Our dog trainer back in the day also said like, wow, I see border collie in her. And we hadn't done the test yet. And I was like, yeah, I think she has so much border collie in her. Yeah, okay. No, she's 93% pit bull. I know this will come as a shock to you. Sarcasm. But she also has terrible skin and terrible allergies, like seasonal allergies. The specialist said that they go together with stomach issues. Like dogs with stomach issues are gonna have other like skin and allergy issues as well. So, and we can't blame it on food because she has the food dialed into nothing. So, yeah, we have to treat her with a lot of shampoos and mousses and creams and scrubs, not scrubs. I scrub her. But there's lots of stuff. She's high maintenance. But she's worth it. Are you worth it? Duchess. Do you wanna? Yeah. Who's that? Is that you? We're a little cockeyed. Oh god. I said who's that? And then the car door, that's a recipe for disaster. Don't even think about it. This is the beefy chestamus. This is the chicken leg. This is the rabbit foot. This is a flapjack. This is a buffer. This is a bonehead. Right? There are beagles down the street. There's a house with 2 beagles, and I can hear them like scream barking. And I think she can too. Anyway, so she is, next to my husband, she is one of the best things that has ever happened to me. I love her with all of my heart. We both do. I am so proud of her all the time. I am so happy to have her. I'm so glad we found her. And she is just my little best friend, and she's a really, really good dog. And she has such a serious face on right now. Down. Yeah. She's the best girl. I love her so much. She knows lots of tricks. She's so good. You're so good. I know you're fighting the sleepy. We're fighting the ASMR sleepy. Good girl. You're so good. There's neighbors talking outside and dogs barking, so she's a little less focused than I would like, but she's a dog, and her brain is probably the size of a small plum, so I can't blame her. But yeah, I just wanted to sort of chit-chat and talk to you about her. I know she's in the background of some of my videos, and she is just so important to me, and I'm so proud to have her, and I'm so proud of the progress that we've made with her health. And I'm proud of the training progress. I mean, we did a lot of training on our own, even after that class, even, using stuff we learned there. Just, she couldn't, she couldn't, the trainer, when we were trying to figure out what was going on, because things were starting to happen, the trainer was still kind of trying to push, like, high reward treats on us. And I was like, there's a medical problem going on. You can't, like, why are you, I would prefer her not know how to heal, meaning like heal like to my side. I would prefer her not know how to do that than die. Like, I not to be dramatic, but it's kind of the truth, unfortunately, with her. So yeah, I like the sound that it makes when I scratch her. Anyway, she is the best. I didn't bring too many items, but this is her leash. It's sort of like a dusty pink color. So there's that. Another important thing for her allergy skin is a brush. It has like these little dull black nubbins. Yeah. What is that? Can you hear the car doors? My husband and I crack up all the time at that one video that I recorded about candles because about halfway through Duchess burps really loudly. It's really loud. So if you're interested, go watch that. Another essential, these are like the cosmetic essentials, not the leash. The Mud Buster, highly recommend. Also not sponsored, but please. This is something that you fill with water and some soap, maybe, like their shampoo. She has, like, of course, like a sensitive skin oatmeal shampoo. It smells delicious, though. So you fill it with water and some shampoo, and then you put their paw in like this after they get muddy, and it cleans their paws. Isn't that awesome? My friend turned me on to this. You can see it says Mud Buster. Is this your Mud Buster? We don't really like the Mud Buster. I don't blame her. If someone did this to me without like explaining what they were doing, I mean, I wish I could explain to her a lot of things, she owes me a lot of money. And I don't think she's looking for a job. But anyway, the Mudbuster's awesome. And this part unscrews. You can take the silicone, like after it gets dirty, after you clean the paws, you can take the silicone insert out like that. You can like unfurl it and wash it. You can even put it in the dishwasher. And you can put the cup in too. Yeah. You can. What is that? I'm so sorry about the car alarm. Look at her. Whose alarm is that? Okay. And then the last thing, because all pet owners know, the poop bags. Yeah, I know. It's your poop bags. Okay. I just wanted to do a little chit chat. This is like doggy ASMR chit chat. Let's see if I can make some final scratching noises. Good. Yeah. We got a threadbare armpit. She has a very pink belly. That's good. Kiss. That was an FU. She doesn't really do it when she's laying down, but if I say, she knows sit, obviously, she knows down, we use down for lay down, she knows off. She doesn't really jump on people, which is awesome. We nixed that pretty fast when she was young. She can touch, like she'll boop her snoot on your hand. She knows jump. Jump is a command. We have her do it, and we like catch her feet. And if I riled her up right now, I know she would do all of those for you, but I'm not gonna make all that tippy tapping noise. Maybe at some point I can post a video of her doing all these things. But yeah, so she knows between. She'll go through your legs. She knows. What am I missing? Oh, shake. She knows. So she knows. This is so silly. She knows two kinds of shake. One is shake, and she'll put her paw. She loves that. It's her favorite. She loves it. She'll, if I like tell her to sit and she's expecting it, she's expecting the shake, she'll like start to like quiver the foot upward. It's so funny. Or she'll like get really excited and like sort of like jerk it in the air. It's hysterical. So there's that kind of shake, but after a bath, there's also, I'll say shake and I'll do this and she'll shake. It's like to get the water off when I bathe her outside when the weather's warm enough. It's so funny. So she knows two kinds of shake, and it kind of just depends on the context. She rings a bell to go pee. And then let's see what else. She loves to cuddle. She's the kind of dog that will just lean really hard. She's so funny. She loves my parents. She loves everybody. She's never met anyone that she doesn't like, dogs or people. She has friends in the neighborhood. My best friend's dogs are her cousins and her best friends, and they live really close. It's awesome. So we have play dates, and we play outside, and we fetch, and we run, and we snuggle. We try to chew, even though we have to be careful about the pieces. We do lots of stuff together. So she is the best. She's doing great. Our vet says keep it up, and you know we are due for an allergy shot soon, and you know, it never ends, but that's okay. She's worth it. She's taught me a lot about myself. She's taught me a lot about dogs. She's taught me a lot about life, and that sounds cheesy, but it's true. And she's really special, and I love her to death. So I hope that we are the home she deserves, because she really does deserve the best. So, all right, thank you so much for coming. This was such a random chit chat and ramble, but I hope you liked it, and I hope you have a wonderful night. I will see you soon.